Good afternoon. Adam here from Aqua Life Hub here with episode number 10 of my series on my 150 gallon reef tank progression. A couple different topics I'm going to go over today, and one bit of sad news for the tank. My McCosker's Wrasse died sometime in the middle of the week. He disappeared, I guess, on Wednesday, and unless he's been hiding since Wednesday, he's most likely deceased, which is very unfortunate. I don't know what happened to him. He was eating, hanging out, swimming around, and so yeah, that was too bad. My main topics of discussion today are: I started my vibrant treatment on Thursday, did the first dose. I ordered some new fish on Saturday, and I did a water change on Saturday as well. And other than the fact that the wrasse died, everything else is looking pretty good, except for one of the corals that I'll show you. Looks like it has some polyp bailout, and I am not sure what's going on with him. So without further ado, let's look a little bit closer and sort of discuss what's been going on. Alright, so here we are from the side. As you can tell, algae is much better. Again, part of this is just from the water change, but the rocks as a whole have less total algae. It looks a little bit lighter. If you look, there's a coral tipped over back here. I'll have to fix it after this. Just now noticed that. But overall, I'd say, if we look through the sand bed, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So I'm going to continue this vibrant treatment. It's supposed to be dosed once a week. I'm going to continue to dose once a week. Obviously I added new carbon, so hopefully if there's anything that's coming off of it, it should be picked up by the carbon. I have not noticed any toxins. Like the only real toxic thing in the tank are the zoas over here, which, for whatever reason, my newest set of zoas looking a little rough. They've just been closed up for the last couple days. But everybody else looks fine. They don't seem really particularly distressed. I've noticed less algae on the plugs. So I think that overall, I don't think that they're should be putting off any sort of toxins that could poison anything else in the tank. And even if they are, the carbon should pick it up. So let's come around to the coral that's doing the best still. The Montipora digitata is continuing to grow rapidly. Really nothing else in here is growing at all at the moment. It is sort of bizarre how well this coral is doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but it's got a ton of new growth on it. And on the flip side of things, here is the coral that's not doing very well at all. My bird's nest. If you look at the base, it seems to be having polyp bailout from the bottom of the coral going up towards the middle and the top. I have no idea what's going on. The parameters are fine. It looks worse today than it did yesterday. I don't see any spots. And if you look from the side, it's pretty obvious there's no polyps. So I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm sort of at a loss. Nothing else is having any sort of issue like this. So I am, at this point, just sort of hoping it picks back up. It's really not getting too much flow. I thought there was a possibility it was getting too little flow, so I used a turkey baster and sprayed out, just carefully aerated, as you might call it, the base, and have not noticed any improvement. So, I don't know. This is sort of a learning experience. If this coral dies, it'll be the first coral in my tank to die. Everything else, some of the corals have had periods where they've looked rough, but they haven't died. So hopefully it'll just be a similar issue with this coral. So everything else looks pretty good. The other SPS, the millipore on the top, it looks good. Both the macros look good too. I wouldn't say they really had any new growth, but they haven't really lost any color either. So I'm going to take that as a success for now. I'm hoping that getting rid of this algae, my nutrients are still essentially at a non-traceable level. I have noticed actually a little bit of growth on this plating Montipora. If you look at, move Mr. Clownfish, please. There you go. If you look down there on the very, very bottom, you can see the white growth going onto the rock. That is new growth, so that's pretty neat. And that burn he had on top from his run-in with the acro has been healing. So, obviously, some of the corals are doing better than others. So I've decided to order 10 Chromis. So I'm going to try to do a school of Chromis, which I say, there are some people that have not had much success with it. Lots of other people that have had plenty of success with it. The main issue is whether or not you can diffuse the aggression between all the different fish. So we're going to give it a shot. I already feed twice a day anyway. They say that's the primary way to help avoid over-aggression. And, of course, having a big enough tank with hiding spots. So, obviously I'm understocked for this size of tank. I'm however many months in now, 4 months in, 5 months in. There's just, I don't have many fish in here. So, obviously I had the biological filtration necessary to support a much small chromie. So I'm going to give it a shot. And obviously I'm going to quarantine. I have my 40-gallon downstairs set up. I ordered a new little filter, which I will show off and review once I've had a chance to give it a test. And I'll let you know whether or not I think it's good for a quarantine tank. It's essentially just a small 200 gallon per hour power head, essentially, that just sucks in water and has some mechanical filtration, basically filter floss to catch debris. And then I also have 2 large bags of rocks, for biological filtration that I've been keeping in the sump of this tank. I will say that the vibrant treatment so far, the biggest thing I've noticed is definitely started to kill off the Chaeto. There's lots of people who say, the company itself says it shouldn't unless you overdose, but I definitely underdosed, and within the first week I've noticed some die-off on that. I moved a bunch of it downstairs into the quarantine tank to see if I can keep it alive. If it dies, it dies. I'll order some more once I'm done with the vibrant treatment. But I know people are always interested in whether or not the vibrant is a good fit for them. I think that I need to kill off all this algae, and then hopefully I can get it back under control using cleanup crew plus some Chaeto. In the long run, that would be the long run goal, but the short run goal is I need to get rid of enough of it that my cleanup crew can keep it under control.